What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, man, we're going to do just a little something different, man. This is not going to have anything to do with Carolina athletics or anything like that, but I felt compelled to put this out there because it's near and dear to my heart, and I think it's important that we remember. So some of you know, some of you don't. I was in the United States Army for 7 years. I was in 2 units, the 3rd Armored Cavalry Regiment, back in 2010 to 2013, and then 4th Brigade 25th Infantry Division up in Fort Richardson, Alaska from 2013 till 2016 when I got out. I was a paratrooper up in Alaska, and for all intents and purposes, I was a cavalryman in 2010 to 2013. And in that 2010-2013 stint, I did my 12-month tour in Iraq with the 3rd Armored Cavalry Regiment. And basically my job is I was a gunner. From that time, I went from private first class to corporal. And I was a gunner, and what we basically did is we transported supplies from base to base to base, making sure that everybody had rations, ammo, et cetera, and that was our mission while I was forward. So, multiple IEDs, couple of firefights, but I think what was the worst part about my time over there personally was the indirect fire at Qas Khal-Su, which is just south of Baghdad. And we called it Rocket City because probably about 2 out of 3 nights when the sun went down, we were receiving mortars and rockets. And, it's one of those things, man, where you'll never know until you experience it. And, we had a couple of nights where there was a lot of close rounds. And unfortunately, on April 2nd, 2011, they had basically zoned in on our position. And Staff Sergeant Quaddy Hudgens and Staff Sergeant Christian Garcia, unfortunately, were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And without elaborating too much on the intricate details of that, it was tough on a lot of us. It was tough on some people more than others. I was actually had a good relationship with Sergeant Hudgens. He had aspirations of being an Olympian. Actually, he was an all-Army boxer, and great dude, great athlete, and Christian Garcia, the couple of times that I got to hang out with him and go on some missions with him, just a good dude, man. Family guy, doing his job, wanted to come home. And interestingly enough, the day before this transpired, I was on my R&R, and I was on a flight to see my family after 7 months in country. And I got the news while I was in Germany to come back over the pond and see my wife and daughter at the time. At the time, I only had 1 kid. And got the news that, Sergeant Hudgens and Sergeant Garcia had succumbed to their injuries. And there was a lot of guilt, man. It's nothing I could do about it. I mean, it was just the scheduled time for my R&R. But there was a lot of guilt that I wasn't there. And what's interesting is that, where I stayed was probably 10, 15 feet from where the indirect fire occurred. And it hurt a lot of people, man. Hurt a lot of people. And it was a rough 2 weeks, trying to, be with my wife and daughter, knowing that back over there, my platoon was dealing with this just unthinkable incident, something that we never thought would transpire, man. So, I wanted to give them some love, man. I don't think of them enough. But in the midst of that, I also want you, the American people, Whether you're left, right, conservative, Democrat, college graduate, not a college graduate, red, yellow, black, or white, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody should care. We're Americans. And there are people that have paid the ultimate price. And that's what today is about. It's Memorial Day, where we remember the over 1 million Americans that paid it all. They paid it all, man. And it doesn't matter whether you agree with war. It doesn't matter if we agree with war. There are missions that we didn't want to go on. There are wars that we didn't want to fight. And yet, the elected officials that the American people have put in place said go. And we went. And it's important that you don't forget that while you're out at your barbecue today. Take a second to remember these people. And don't just remember them for their sake. I want you to remember them for your sake. I want you to ask yourself every day as you wake up, when you think about everything that's going wrong in your life, think about their wife and their kids who no longer have them by their side. They can no longer lean on them because they sacrificed everything for us. And I'm not asking you to be overly emotional. I was on the treadmill today, and I was watching this little tribute, which I'm going to put it down in the comments section. I highly recommend you do it because it had me almost in tears. I was trying to fight it back on the treadmill, and because it means a lot to me. It really does, guys. And just don't forget about these people, man. These people that, right now as we're going to head out and do our barbecue and hang out with our friends and just enjoy this day off, don't forget about the people that are forward right now and they're standing in the gap. Don't forget about the law enforcement officers, that are on duty right now, making sure that, or at least to the best of their ability, that the wolf doesn't come knocking at your door. And if he does, they're there to respond. So, it's a somber day, man, and it should be. I'm not saying don't have a good time, but, just remember what it's about. That's all I'm saying, man. Just remember what it's about. So, like I said, a little bit different, man. If you're a veteran and you've been directly impacted, you have some buddies, man, that you want to shout out, some guys that paid that ultimate sacrifice, by all means, please put it down in the comment section, man. Make sure that their names live on and that people have an opportunity to recognize that true sacrifice that so many people couldn't possibly understand. And those of us who have been there, I don't think that it's reasonable to even expect you to understand. But it's not shouldn't be too low for you to at least try. And so, like I said, man, hey, down in the comment section, make sure that you check out the stinking little video that I put down there. And, just remember, it doesn't matter what political affiliation you're with. It doesn't matter what ethnicity, whether you were born here, now you're a citizen. We are all Americans. And some gave it all. And we should never forget that. Anyway, love you, Tar Heel Nation. We'll catch you on the next one, baby.